Welcome into CBS News 24/7. We're continuing to follow the investigation into the deadly shooting in New York City, where a gunman walked into an office building and killed 4 people. The building where the shooting took place is home to several companies like Blackstone, the NFL, and KPMG. So there is surveillance video. It shows the suspect, Shane Tamura of Las Vegas, just walking into the Park Avenue high-rise armed with a high-powered rifle. He died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound at the scene. One of those killed, an NYPD officer with a baby on the way. And in a statement on social media, the department says he was protecting New Yorkers from danger when his life was tragically cut short. New York City Mayor Eric Adams confirming authorities recovered a note from the suspect at the scene.
The note alluded to that he felt he had CTE, a known brain injury for those who participate in contact sports. He appeared to have blamed the NFL for his injury. The NFL headquarters is located in the building at 345 Park Avenue. From our preliminary investigation, he took the wrong elevator bank up to the NFL headquarters. Instead, it took him to Rudin Management, and that is where he carried out additional shootings and took the lives of additional employees.
I want to bring in CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano, who is at the scene where the shooting happened yesterday. And Lilia, I know you have new information about this and some chilling details.
Well, Jules, we have been learning more details about what could have led to this horrible tragedy. And as you heard from Mayor Eric Adams, there seems to be a motive, or police are getting closer to a motive, in that they found this note. In the note, he talks about the NFL, and I'm paraphrasing here. According to police sources, he says that the NFL was hiding or concealing the dangers of CTE, of brain traumatic injuries, for profit. He also seems to say that he thought he was suffering from it, and then he addresses content, documentaries, and studies regarding CTE. We know that he traveled from Las Vegas, where he was working in a casino as security, that it took him about 3 days to go from Vegas. He was spotted in surveillance video in Colorado, in Arkansas, in Iowa. He finally got to New Jersey, and that was 2 hours before he parked his BMW, the car where police found more weapons, ammunition, and medication right here in front of this building, in front of the crime scene. We've also been inquiring about his mental health given the note, and what we have learned is that he seems to have applied for a concealed firearms permit in 2022. Police say that that was before any interaction with police, that he had a clean record when he was granted that permit. At some point in that same year, there were episodes having to do with his mental health. And among those episodes, which continued well into 2024, that he called police to say that he had suicidal ideation. But law enforcement in Nevada tells CBS News that that is not enough grounds to take that permit away from him. We're also learning from the police commissioner here in New York, Jessica Tisch, that there are officers on their way, detectives on their way to the state of Nevada with a search warrant for his property, and also to speak with somebody who was a colleague of his, potentially a superior in that security company, who may have purchased parts of the weapons that were used in this killing. They're saying they're not sure yet whether there was a legal transfer of the weapon, and so they want to interrogate this person, this friend of his, whose name appears in one of the 3 pages of that note that police found with him.
So much chilling information coming out in that surveillance photo as well. Lilia Luciano, thank you so much. All right, police say the suspect in the shooting had a documented history of mental health illnesses and issues. So CBS News correspondent Jason Allen has more on the investigation taking place in Las Vegas right now, where the suspect lived.
There's very little obvious law enforcement activity here in the neighborhood where Shane Tamura lived. We're about 15 miles or so to the west of the Las Vegas Strip. We have seen some law enforcement in the area just kind of driving around, especially as there's been a lot of activity here. But the belief right now is law enforcement has really been more focused on the actions leading up to this shooting over the last few days and even going back to the last month. Law enforcement sources have said there was a tip back in June that Tamura had been seen at a gun show purchasing a large amount of ammunition and also purchasing a secondary trigger. There's also been a lot of investigation now into where he purchased that firearm from. There are law enforcement sources and officials telling us that he knew somebody may have worked with the person that he bought the firearm from. He worked at a casino here in the Las Vegas area. He worked in their surveillance department, and he had at one time done some private security as well. Law enforcement also continuing to look into their interactions with Tamura over the past few months and the past couple of years. And he had some interactions that involved some mental health issues. Exactly what that was and what those mental health issues were will determine whether he should have still had the concealed carry permit that our investigation and reporting so far have shown was still active when he carried out this shooting. However, at least what we know right now, it doesn't appear that would have impacted his ability to own a firearm. But this investigation happening in a lot of places right now here in Nevada. Back to you.
And CBS News 24/7 will continue to follow this investigation.